Every single film that we've made together has begun and been totally understood because of the film festival circuit. There hasn't been one of our films that we've done that hasn't started in a film festival. It's been the platform for independent film and the advancement of independent film in America and in the world, actually.
We are trying to express something that we believe in and that means something to us and that we're proud of. And so it's wonderful to get the feedback in a festival. And one of the great things about it is also you're in touch with the people in the festival. And not only the people who run the festival, but you're accessible to the audience and you get feedback. And it's tremendously encouraging and rewarding. I wanted to live with Eskimos, and I've been with cannibal tribes in New Guinea, and I've been with desert nomads. I was with the rebels in Angola. I walked 400 miles behind the lines. So I've seen a lot of different things. I've followed a man-eating tiger in Assam. We lived in an elephant camp catching wild elephants in India and watched how they train them. And I lived on an Native American reservation in the early 70s because I was so interested in them, and I spent about a year just reading and trying to write a screenplay about Native Americans. I've always wanted to make a film about them. I never really have succeeded. I've tried. I've just tried to do things that I thought really meant something, and I find it very difficult to do something that I can't do something I don't believe in. I had read a book by a man named Danilo Dolci, who was known as the Gandhi of Sicily, a fantastic man. And I had read his book, and I had to go there, and I talked NBC into letting me go there. But then I destroyed myself in a way because I made a film which was not on the one hand and on the other hand, but completely experiential. And so then the question when you see the film is, what is this saying? That's the most dangerous thing. And what you see today, like politically, everybody's trying to put a spin on something to tell you something. And it's basically untrue, or even if it's true, it's only partial truth. And the most confounding thing is, what is this? What is it really saying? And it leaves, now of course it's a construct, and I'm sympathetic to these people, but I'm trying to really show them the way they are. And I don't think it's respectful to be trying to rationalize for them. I just want to, this is what life is like. And it seems to me that the function of, look, I don't think of myself as an artist, so I'm self-conscious about using the word art even. But I think the function is to ground the audience, to experientially, yes, this is the way it is. Even if you don't like it, this is sort of the truth.
Our film of American Me, it's about prison life in the United States of America. We went for 1 month. We stayed in Folsom. We're the only film to ever do that. And there were 4,500 convicts. And when we go out into the yard, there were thousands of convicts there. And it's a level 5 federal penitentiary. So everyone that's in there is in there for 25 years to life, and many without parole. So they told us it was really difficult. They said, we can't let you in there because the warden and the government said we can't let you in, and we don't own the space. The space is owned by the convicts. You need to get them. You need permission for 4,700 guys, and if one guy says we don't want them on the yard, it's over. I always said from the very beginning that the reason I was making the dramatic piece of work was to make the documentary. When we were done with the film and you saw the process of, and the documentary dealt on why some people helped us make the film. And young kids, some of the actors in the film and some of the local people in the film, in the area that helped us make the film, including the warden and all the guards. And it was really amazing when when we started to put all the pieces together, because here we had the dramatic piece, and you could see the film, and it was incredible. The film was really worked really, really well. And then you see the documentary, and you see why people help us make the movie, and it just brought the whole thing together and made it one of the most needed pieces of work to help understand that lifestyle. And even today, well, that film's made in 1991. Even today, it's become the stable force for gang prevention in the United States of America. It's better than Scared Straight. In the documentary, you see why, because in the documentary, you saw that not only did we have an incredibly difficult time filming the film and what took place around the film, and how there were moments where we were under gunfire while we were working on the film. We actually have a moment in the documentary where you see I address all of the crew, and we remember when we did that, it was incredible.
And the inmates.
And the inmates. Well, we had to get permission from the inmates, and that became a whole issue all in itself. And that's where we really learned how incredibly difficult this was going to be, because we had to talk with every single inmate in 4,700 people. Convicts had to allow us to make the film, and they never thought we'd get through. The warden was in shock when I asked 2 questions. I only asked a couple of questions to them. First question that I asked is, how many of you, we were working in groups of 500, and we'd bring 500 people into the mess hall, and I'd stand up on top of a table, and Bob was there, and everybody was around, the heads of all of the federal penitentiaries, and it was very difficult. So I had done 18 years of work inside the penal institutions before this, so that's what gave me the ability to even ask for this permission. And I stood up on the table, and as I stood up on the table, I asked them, how many of you have had a brother or sister, or mother, father, aunt, uncle, grandfather, great-grandfather, nephew or niece that have been in prison before you? 100% of every single person raised their hand. There wasn't one person sitting in that prison who did not have a family member in prison before them, okay? And then I'd say, okay, put the hands down. I said, now how many of you would like to have your grandson, grandchild, or your daughter, or your son, or your niece or nephew follow in your footsteps and come into this prison? And no one raised their hand. Nobody, not one wise guy raised their hand and said, yeah, I would. No one. This was as serious as a heart attack. And I said, then help me make this movie. And they all helped me make the movie.